Hello, thank you for being here and watching this video. I was arrested Tuesday this week for a demonstration where at Tent City in Victoria Park. Now, the thing that people need to know is what led up to these arrests. For over a year, we have been negotiating with the city to get people housing and to get people into housing. During the winter, the city refused to put people in a housing, hoping that the numbers would go down. People went throughout the whole winter, despite the fact we were negotiating with them, despite the fact that we acted in good faith. Many of us sat together with the city at the table. We never hid anything of what we wanted. Our demands were quite simple. They were stated on the first day, and they can be summarized quite simply as the right to housing, the right to not be criminalized for being homeless, and the right for dignity and basic things that humans have. Now, on Tuesday, I was arrested and charged for forcible entry. Right here it says forcible entry in a park, a public park, assault a police officer. Now, there were many reporters there, and there were many cell phones and other pictures taken. There were none taken of myself assaulting a police officer, mischief, and interfering with the lawful use and enjoyment of property. Now, what people need to know was several days before a demonstration for housing, the city put up a fence refusing people to go into the fence to give resources that we have been giving homeless people throughout the whole year. People who have been there, who have been in a leadership role, were also refused entry. I myself have lost some of my medications that I need very importantly because they were on the other side of the fence. The day of the demonstration, people wanted to speak and bring coffee and food to those in the tent city that the city was secretly trying to choke off by not allowing people entry into the island. And they acted with force. The fact that they put up fences and then promised people hotels right now while letting them sit out in the winter and freeze is force. Cutting them off from food and other necessary resources is force. Saying who can and can't come is force. Confiscating tents, which was done before they put up the fence, is force. So, who are the ones who are stopping the enjoyment of the property? Obviously, it would be the police. People went there, peacefully demanded to be allowed to go on the island and deliver coffee and food and other supplies. And when this was denied, a scuffle happened. This scuffle was not a scuffle between people, but rather pulling back and forth on the fence. No police officer was touched in any of the videos that were taken, and the charge assault police is just there to basically criminalize anyone who put a leadership role or who put their head up to say that we have basic rights by virtue of being human. So the conditions they put on us is not to associate with three, four people whom I don't know, one person who I know who is in a leadership role. And the purpose of this is just because right now, at this point in time, with the Blues Festival coming up, with the taping of things in the park and gentrification, they are trying to destroy and get the homeless people out of downtown Kitchener. One of the other conditions is you must not go to any address associated to Victoria Park, including but not limited to 32 Dill Street and certain Schneider Street Avenue in the city of Kitchener. So basically, that means, on the word of a police officer, I can get arrested at any time and breached for going to an address, and all they need to say is this address has something to do with Victoria Park. What they are trying to do is not restore peace and not find a solution to the homeless problem, but what they are trying to do is they are trying to criminalize people. They are trying to criminalize anyone who takes a lead role to shut down our right to protest, to shut down our right to go in public spaces. And at the same time, they sit with us at the table for a whole year, making promises, and behind our backs, they have police assault on our basic rights. And I think people should watch the videos, watch all the things in the news, and see who is the ones who have the guns, who are the ones who are being violent, who are the ones who are criminalized. And it's quite obvious that this was a police provocation by putting a fence all across the park, denying people entry into the park, saying who has a right to go in, who doesn't have a right to go in, cutting off the logistics of the tent city and trying to stop any actions. It's ironic that people were planning a 2-day marathon in the park. Just give me a second so I can try to find the days. In the end of May, there was a 2-day marathon for homelessness at the end of May in the park, and that's when they decide to arrest the people. Also, I know about these arrests because it's been in the papers. I've heard from other people, and usually non association is done in such a way like the only way they can legitimize it is by arresting other people. So they think that by arresting us, they have cut off the head of the organizations. But we are like a hydra. Once you cut off one of our heads, many more will grow. And we will not be intimidated, and we will stand up for our rights. At the end of May, I ask people to join this peaceful protest. There are flyers in downtown Kitchener. I have one upstairs, but it'll be up on social media. I, of course, will not be there, but I will be there in spirit, and I will be somewhere else in Kitchener to show my support for this endeavor. And I ask people to join me on the date of my first appearance, which is right here. Where is the appearance? Quality thing. You are required to appear on blah 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 for fingerprinting. Okay, on the 18th of July, we are going to have a press conference at 9 a.m. at 85 Frederick Street in Kitchener, Ontario, Canada, and then we will go to courtroom 101, where I will have with my co-accused, whoever they are, my first appearance. Please come join, watch the videos, see who is the real violence. And the most fucked up thing about all of this was I was arrested outside of my pharmacy at least 2 weeks after the protest while I was under surveillance. The police found out where I went every day, knew where I was going, were surveilling, and they decided to arrest me outside of the pharmacy. This is clearly an intimidation thing. So come out to the rally on July 18th at 9 a.m., 85 Frederick Street, Kitchener, Ontario, and then we'll go inside to courtroom 101. Thank you very much.